Hello, everyone. I am James the Squirrel, and I am here with Nicky B.
I'm gonna have to stop you right there. Nikki Cross has entered the ring and she is like doing some weird squatting pose. What is she up to? As a weird chick.
I would like to
Damn
point
it,
out.
that intro did not work as well as I thought it would. Continue.
I would like to point out. I dig crazy chicks. I can look at my. I can look at my dating history and fundamentally prove, yes, I do dig crazy chicks.
Well, have I got the feud for you?
I know. Also, I loved how she didn't walk up to the person and grab the mic. She walked up to the person while they were still holding it in their lap and just talked into the microphone. Brilliant.
Yeah, she just kneeled down into the ring announcer's crotch and was just like, Ruby, I want to play.
Whoever wins that feud gets a title shot afterwards. Clearly.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, they mentioned what Asuka's next opponent is. So, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get. What I was saying is,
Mhm.
yeah, we'll explain why I will explain my reasoning for why those two will face each other. The winner of their feud will face Asuka later.
Yeah. Also, when Ruby came down to the ring, and this may just be me, she looked like a 50s pinup girl.
I was gonna say she looks like whatever her name is, someone the Riveter.
Oh, Rosie the Riveter.
Yeah, like that.
Wasn't that one of her like indie names? Something the Riveter?
Let me check on the lovely thing of that we have called Google. While you take the next thing that happened.
I will do such a thing. Okay, so they get into the ring together and they look like, oh, we're just gonna do that thing where we kind of just stare at each other and then the heel like bolts, but then like freaking Nikki Cross just goes for her and they start brawling for like 5 minutes. Like they just keep going and going. Cross like smashes Riot's face into the steps. More brawling, more brawling. Maybe a touch too long on the brawling, but it was still pretty good. Crowd was into it. Let them fight, let them fight.
That match has to be some variation of a hardcore match.
I'm thinking Falls Count Anywhere. I think that's the perfect step for them.
By the way, it was Heidi the Riveter.
I knew it. I knew it was something like that. But yeah, so those two have a pull-apart fight, and William Regal later announces that those two will be having a match later tonight.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, no, that totally happened, but we'll get to that in a second. After that, we had
what did we have? I thought it was just we went straight to the next match.
It was a brief little segment about last week's meeting between Itami and Bobby Roode. And after that, we had an interview with Bobby called Itami's Attack Cowardly and Unprovoked, and says that he'll have to earn an opportunity at Bobby Roode's title.
Which is honestly fair enough, because he has just showed up from injury.
Yeah, but it also seems like they're telegraphing we're getting Itami versus Roode at TakeOver Chicago.
Yes. Also, fuck you, Toon. You get to go see that if you have the money to.
You lucky so and so. Like, but
the matches that are lining up for it is like,
yeah, like I would want to see that.
So
I haven't been spoiled on everything, thankfully, but like they are.
I haven't looked at any of the dirt sheets since we've started doing this series. I am such a good boy. I also don't know if WWE has hired any new faces.
Me neither yet, so that's good. So after that, we had Andrade Almas versus Drew McIntyre.
Galloway. I will keep doing this.
You're gonna be that guy, huh? Okay. So
we were both that guy with Killian Dane, And I have finally accepted
Yeah,
that fact.
yeah, I was about to say, and I finally accepted that too. And you're the guy who can't stop talking. Oh, Andrade Almas, that's too many names.
You agree with me, though.
Yeah, but I've gotten over it.
Well, we both know
Like,
he's probably going to drop one of those when he hits main.
that's how they do. Just
Yeah.
look at Alexander Rusev, Antonio Cesaro, Big E Langston, Adrian Neville. Like,
And then
the
there's
list.
people like Sami Zayn that they're like, no, he can keep his full name.
Well, yeah, because if it called him Zayn, people would just think he's that guy from One Direction.
Or Sammy.
That that might be the worst single named wrestler possible. That'd be even worse than Neville.
No, the worst single name wrestler in the world. If they dropped the Styles from AJ and just called him AJ.
I would argue Sammy would be worse.
No, AJ.
Eh.
And then there's also
Well,
JoJo.
the
I'm
thing,
sorry, JoJo.
the thing is, like, AJ Lee was pretty much exclusively just called AJ.
Mm. Anyway,
So we didn't really talk about this during McIntyre's first match because that video didn't end up going up. But what do you think about McIntyre's music?
now I'm going to state an unpopular opinion, but it's fine
Mm.
because like the reason I state that is because his old theme, Broken Dreams, was because like it fit him at the time. Since the time he used it, he has changed. He needed new music.
Yeah, that's true. But like this current song just feels like let's put some bagpipes and guitar together and let's go
Haven't
break
you
for
heard of
lunch.
Scottish rock?
I have, and like if this were Scottish rock, or if this were played as a Scottish rock song, we'd be like, this is a lame Scottish rock song.
Yeah, I know it's not the best, but it is a wrestling theme.
There's awesome wrestling themes.
Yes, but
We
not
should
many
not
of them.
we should not just accept like
Oh no,
subpar wrestling themes as like good enough.
no. What I'm
Old,
saying is most wrestling themes, when they're based on a genre, aren't that good.
I can name like 10 or more wrestling themes based on a genre
Go
that
on.
kick ass. Okay, Sami Zayn with skank or ska music. That is fucking killer.
That's
Uh,
one.
okay, Shinsuke Nakamura's theme with like the
One that is not a genre. That is just that is Shinsuke Nakamura distilled in music form.
can that be a genre?
No, I want it to be, but no.
Okay, fine. What other ones? What other ones? What other ones? Bobby Roode.
That's not really a genre. That's just, might I say it, glorious?
That it is.
Yes.
Okay. Can I count Cult of Personality?
No, because that's a legit song.
It is a legit song.
Yeah, that's why I'm not counting it.
Me. Well, if you're going to put all these restrictions on me, let's just move on to the next thing.
My point stands.
Okay, so we start the match, and Andrade is so not giving a shit.
He hasn't given a shit since, like, Mania, basically.
Like, he's going all in on this whole, like...
Playboy,
like,
millionaire,
wrestling is my... Say that again. I think we talked over each other.
That one line from the Avengers: Playboy, billionaire, philanthropist. I can't say that word apparently.
Playboy, billionaire, philanthropist.
That's it.
I can't remember the other thing. Why can't I remember the other thing? That was such a good line. Ugh, that's gonna haunt me forever. So, yeah, wrestling is pretty much his side gig, while his like main job is fucking every bitch in the world.
And I want to see him and Mojo Rawley party together.
Yeah, that'd be fucking crazy. So, Almas does the Tranquilo thing in the ropes because like
Yeah,
McIntyre's getting sick of his bullshit and it just starts choking him out and throws him into the ropes. And he does the Tranquilo and fucking McIntyre boots him right the fuck out of the ring.
yeah. It's just like, you're gonna do that again, really? Fine. Eat my boot to your face.
Why has nobody ever done that before? That's fucking awesome. Because like I've never seen anybody actually like attack him when he's doing Tranquilo.
Well,
Uh,
and you can take a guess who won.
oh yeah, yeah. Like almost got fucking rocked. Like there was a lot of slaps in this match.
Well, they're both two stiff fucking guys.
Yeah, this is very slap happy match. And but yeah, like I said, McIntyre fucking killed him with the one-legged drop kick. Wikipedia is calling that move the Claymore.
It's
That's
a
a,
one.
that,
No,
hmm?
no.
I like it. I like that name.
It doesn't need a name. It's a single leg drop kick.
The Claymore is like a big fuck off sword. Like his foot or his leg is basically a giant sword that's like stabbing you.
Yes, but claymores are used with two hands, so that would be a double legged drop kick.
Sword.
Why don't you call it?
Stabby stab.
Why don't you call it when he does it with when it's a single leg, the bastard sword? Because you can't, because PG, fuck PG.
Because they probably can't say bastard.
Um,
But
yeah, but
Claymore's a good. I like it.
I don't like it. It's not accurate.
Well, I would imagine like that's like a famed sword from Scottish history.
No, it's not. It is a type of sword.
Probably like it had origins or like some big fighting
No,
sport.
it is literally a type of sword that was mainly used in England and Scotland.
In Scotland. Okay. Thank you for proving my point.
All of Britain, not just Scotland.
Okay. That's a thing as well. But yeah. So here's my question to you. When the fuck is McIntyre turning heel?
Isn't he already heel?
No way. He's like the biggest face in the roster. Like, did you see him when he was after the match was over and he was like on the top turnbuckle just soaking it in?
Doesn't Robbie Roode do that too? And don't we classify him as a heel?
Yeah, but like McIntyre was actually like addressing, or well, after his first match, he addressed the crowd and he was like doing face things and like.
At this point,
and-
I'm not classifying him as heel nor face because he hasn't done anything to interact with another person. Like he hasn't gone out of his way to do something heelish or face-ish.
I guess, but like, just given the crowd reaction, like, and how much the crowd is so into him, and he doesn't do anything to try and deflect that kind of reaction. He's a face for now, and he's going to be building towards a big bastard heel turn.
I want to point something out to you.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns, the guy who everyone boos. Roman, the top face in the company.
That is not even close to the same thing.
Just because he hasn't, like, it's the old conundrum of just because they're cheering does not mean he is face nor is he heel.
If the crowd is into him, then like, and he hasn't done anything over.
Roman Reigns.
Let me finish. If the crowd is into him and he hasn't done anything overtly heel, he's a face.
I want to point out something. He's an
Yes.
indie darling. The NXT crowd will be into anyone who is an indie darling.
Yeah. And
That
then they
doesn't
turn heel.
that doesn't
It
mean
happened with it happened with Austin Aries. It happened with Bobby Roode. It happened with freaking
Bobby Roode
Andrade
was never a
Almas.
face.
He was face for like 4 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. He was a face for his entrance.
Yeah, exactly. Like the crowd loves him until the wrestlers give them the cue. Okay, boo me now.
And they still don't boo him.
He can get the crowd to boo him like that. Like, look at last week's promo right before Tommy came out. Yeah, the crowd was into him, but by the time Tommy came out, or right before Tommy came out, the crowd was like, "Fuck you, Bobby."
Well, yeah, he was shitting on Nakamura. You don't shit
Yeah,
on Nakamura.
exactly. Heel thing. Yeah. So the next thing we had was it was the brief little William Regal segment where he announced Riot and Cross. Then we got the first part of a Roderick Strong bio.
Which was awesome.
It was awesome. I loved it. And I get that these things take a little while to produce. I kind of wish we'd seen this 2 months ago. Because, like, for the longest time...
Probably 2 months ago they realized, yeah, we need to give him something, and then they did that, and it wasn't going to be ready until now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, my biggest criticism of Roderick Strong, ever since he debuted, was that his gimmick is just he's a great wrestler. And that's great and all, but we kind of like having something a little more substantive than that.
Like, now this video package is already explaining why it's not Tommy, it's I'm terrible.
Roddy?
It's Roddy versus the world, because that's pretty much what it was since he was a little kid.
Yeah, like he had gone through some shit in his day. Like his parents like hated each other. His mom was on drugs. His dad was an alcoholic rock star. His mom fucking shot his dad. Like absolutely crazy. But apparently his mom kicked the drug habit and she shows up for his shows, which is that's really cool.
Yeah.
Really interesting part about this was that, or for me at least, was that Roddy's dad was training to be a professional wrestler and actually got trained by Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
And the fact that Roddy was also kind of trained by him as well.
Yeah, and like he got an endorsement from the Anvil when he was like 11 years old, and it was like
one of the best members of one of the best tag teams / factions of all time.
Yeah, like imagine like 11-year-old James the U guy, and like you get a freaking endorsement from Cesaro or some shit like that. That'd be like life changing.
The free / probably 4-foot James.
Yeah, that guy. Imagine that guy gets an endorsement from Cesaro when you're that age, and it's just like
11.
Yes, sir.
I think that was during the period of time where I wasn't watching wrestling. Yeah, because I stopped partway, I started in the Attitude Era and then stopped partway through it because that's when it started. It was right at that point where they were both kind of shit and there wasn't good wrestling on, apart from like maybe at the occasional ECW show, but I'm in Australia and I don't really get that, and we didn't have the internet. Well, we didn't have internet like we do today where we can get tapes and such.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so I stopped for a while and then I came back in like 2000, not 2000, like WrestleMania 2019 kind of era, and I was back. And that was
so like
when I was
2003 or so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might have been 11, like 12, 13 is when I got back in.
Yeah.
Maybe 11. Anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
so Go ahead.
Yeah, like I was gonna just say, like anyone who got at that young of age got told by like a proper professional wrestler that you
Mm-hmm.
have, if you keep up with this, you will be really good. You kind of go like, okay, I'm going to keep doing this. It doesn't matter what sport it is or whatever it is. If one of the best in the field says that, you're going to try and keep going as far as you can go.
Big time. Big time. And we're getting more of this next week. They're probably going to talk about like his indie career before he came to NXT, and that's going to be really good too, I bet.
Yeah.
So next up, more Aleister Black.
More, I'm going to kick you really hard in the face, Alistair Black.
This guy is so fucking money. Like, make him every champion.
You
Like,
know
give
how
him.
people are saying, "Oh, who's going to replace the next? Who's going to be the next Undertaker? Who's going to be the next Undertaker?" Points to Alistair Black.
Give him the UK title. Give him the Cruiserweight
He's
title.
not
Give
part
him
of.
the Intercontinental title.
He's,
Give him the World title.
he,
Give him the tag titles. Both of them. Give
Nicky,
him everything.
Nicky, there's a problem with that.
No, there is no problem with this. Zero logistical problems with giving him every fucking title imaginable.
There's two problems. One,
Well, there are
Tommy
no problems,
End.
but go on.
Tommy End isn't from the United Kingdom.
Europe, close enough.
And want to know something that's amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Alistair Black is 205 pounds.
That's fine. Austin Aries is 205, I think. I know for a fact Cedric Alexander is billed at 205.
Oh, cool. He was. Well, that explains why he likes to kick people really hard in the face.
Yeah.
No, I just
But,
looked at the people who trained him. Nigel
hmm?
McGuinness and Chris Hero.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah,
Although,
that's a combination of I'm gonna stiff the fuck out of you.
yeah. Like oddly enough, I'm on Steven Larson's Patreon, and because of that, you can ask them questions at the $1 mark.
Yes,
And I do that every so often, and
which you
the
do,
question
and we bring, and it's nice to hear Nicky Viola every now and then.
yep, even though it's Viola, but eh. But the question I ended up asking them for the NXT show was, uh, is there any non-English, Irish, or Scottish people that you could imagine winning the UK title? And Aleister Black would be A1 on that list.
So,
if you say anything about that, allow me to point to our current United States champion.
but see, the problem is the United States champion doesn't have a stipulation where you have to be United States to win it.
Let me go a little further back then. Do you remember the European title?
No.
Okay, fair enough. I'm pretty sure that once upon a time it had that stipulation, and then D'Lo Brown won it and started billing himself from all over Europe, and it was fucking hilarious.
So, the one thing about the European title I remember is, if I'm remembering correctly, it was like Raven or someone constantly won it, and it was basically their title.
No, that was the hardcore title.
No, not. I'm not saying set. It is Raven. It was someone. I just don't remember who. So
yeah.
Next segment.
Next segment. So about this match, fucking Kona Reeves is there. He's the Hawaiian guy, and he got his fucking shit pushed in.
Yep.
Like really hard. For some reason, when Kona Reeves came out, commentary was totally silent. That was weird. Like, I don't know why he got the silent treatment, because it made that kind of made it very obvious that the crowd had no kind of interest in Kona. Like, there was like one person doing something, but it was certainly not cheering or booing.
Huh. European title only lasted 5 years.
Oh yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah. and it was either D'Lo Brown or William Regal who held it.
Hey, do you know who the last European champion was?
Rob Van
Van
Dam.
Dam. Damn right.
He also held it for the shortest amount of time.
Well, yeah, because he won the title and it was pretty much immediately vacant. Or no, he won the title and it was
Unified.
combined with the unified with the Intercontinental title. So not only was he the last uh, European champion, he was also the last hardcore champion because that was combined into it as well.
So after Kona Reeves got his shit pushed in and his jaw replaced with Tommy Ann's boot.
Yeah, with his jaw was replaced with smaller broken pieces of his jaw.
I believe we had the announcement of the women's battle royal there.
Not quite yet. Well, first off, one last thing from the match. I like how after like a minute of just brutal strikes, one after another, just bam, 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 like Black roundhouse kicks Kona, and then Black just sits right down. God, I love Aleister Black. Why have I not watched more of his stuff from the indies? Like, I need to do that.
Because I am the most indie guy in the goddamn Haymakers.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I'm like
trying.
I'm like our indie expert. I'm the guy who watches WCPW, Progress, Ring of Honor.
Yeah, like the only like indie federation I watch, and I use that term loosely, is Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm the expert on that one, so
Yeah. And then I'm going back and rewatching all the old episodes of the weekly episodes of weekly pay-per-views of TNA because I like to torture myself.
Yeah, I was about to say, because apparently you're an insane person who really fucking likes Jeff Jarrett as champion of things.
Interesting fact, he never won the TNA Heavyweight Championship, only the NWA stuff.
Well, that's interesting.
That is a very common misconception that he only did it. He only did and here's the other interesting part. During early TNA, he only did the first couple of episodes. After that, it swapped over to Vince Russo, and then Vince Russo put the belt on him a lot.
Ah, okay. Hang on. I'm looking up the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion because I gotta see that because
it'll be listed under two things because there's TNA, the straight TNA Heavyweight Championship, and then there's the NWA/TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
Right. No, I'm looking exclusively at TNA World Champions. Okay. Kurt Angle, vacated. Kurt Angle, Sting. Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, Sting, Mick Foley, Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Rob Van Dam, Jeff Hardy, Mr. Anderson, Holy balls. Jeff Jarrett never held this title.
I know. It's very interesting.
Ain't that some shit?
And here is a very interesting fact.
Mm-hmm.
On that list, in one form or another, there is only 1, 2, 3. I think 3. Okay, there's either 3 or 4 because I'm not sure if was Ethan Carter in WWE. I think he was.
Yes. As,
okay.
Something Bateman.
Okay, so only 3 people who have held the TNA Championship have never appeared in WWE. I may be wrong about this.
Can I try to name them?
Go on.
Okay. Magnus.
Yep, there's 1.
Eddie Edwards.
2.
It was one of the Motor City Machine Guns.
I'll give you that.
Which one was it? Was it Sabin?
Yeah, Sabin.
I should have just said it. I looked like a cool guy.
Yeah, it's like those. Everyone else is either came from WWE to TNA, which is the majority of them, or have made a stint in WWE, whether that be in NXT or otherwise.
Yeah.
if you count only main roster, the number increases slightly because there's guys like Bobby Roode and such who haven't made their main roster
James
debut,
Storm.
and then there's James Storm and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Huh, Kurt Angle was the first champion.
Oh yeah. Anyway, back to NXT and not TNT. So they do the Ruby Riott interview, and so after I got done watching NXT, I was looking through some of the comments on the Squared Circle tab for this episode, and a lot of people thought that this promo was kind of cringy.
Mm-hmm.
I did not. I thought that it was good for her character, and it kind of addressed why Ruby wouldn't align with Sanity, given that by her own admission, Sanity is kind of into the same stuff that she is.
Yeah, like it explained why they could totally be together, but it also explained why she's not with them.
Right. So I thought that it was a pretty good promo. And you?
Yeah, I liked it. It gave her a reason for why she could join, but it also said, "Hey, I'm not going to join because they're forcing people to do stuff, and when you force me to do stuff, I push back."
Right. She is non-conformist, super hard. But
Which
yeah.
is
Anyway.
cool.
Oh yeah.
I
That works.
I did notice one thing on her jacket. It has nerd written on it.
Nerd. Also, what's with this new interviewer? She seemed really stiff.
I think that was her first time.
It seemed like it. It was a bit I don't know. So after this, we had Andrade leaving the ring, or leaving the entire stadium, and he's got a pretty lady on his arm. And the interview, or the more seasoned interview, I really need to learn these interviewers' names. Because I just keep saying interviewer.
I will keep saying interviewer until they actually give it damn about until they actually matter, basically.
Yeah. Well, the new interview lady said her name, something St. Cloud, but I can't remember her first name. But still, so interview lady chases down Andrade, and she's wondering how Andrade is going to bounce back from the loss against McIntyre, and Almas so does not give a shit. He heads to this car, and there's 6 more hot ladies in the car, and he actually asks the interviewer if she wants to join, and then just pieces out. I love Andrade Almas.
Yeah.
He is the coolest man in the world. He can eat all of these losses, and he'll have 10 women just waiting for him. What a badass. I want to be Andrade when I grow up.
So, one quick thing. Before TNA took over the NWA belt, the last person to hold it was Dan Severn.
Whoa. Mr. I take wrestling very seriously.
Yep. And then Ken Shamrock got the belt.
Mr. I take wrestling very seriously 2.0.
And then R-Truth.
Well, he broke that pattern.
Then Jeff Jarrett.
Slappy.
Slapnuts.
That was the worst catchphrase ever. What does slapnuts mean?
I don't know, and I don't want to know.
That's weird. So after that, we had our announced earlier in the night, Ruby Riott versus Nikki Cross,
which lasted all of 0 seconds.
Yeah, you could argue negative seconds. Before Nikki Cross fucking blindsided her, Ruby was still selling the injury the beatdown from earlier, so that's cool. Nice to see people selling. I'm always for it.
Selling is
Andrade certainly wasn't fucking selling.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if you're going to be a cocky asshole, at least sell a little bit. Like you can
Hmm.
have the girls fawning over him because he's hurt.
Yeah, have a hot lady put an ice pack on him or something. There's ways of doing this, but well. So they brawl some more. Ruby like German suplexes Cross onto the ramp. They beat each other up even more. Like they get pulled apart.
It
Ruby dives back onto them some more.
once again, this went on a little bit long, for my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, they were going after each other and would not stop. And literally, like Riot went away on her own accord, but Cross had to be carried out of the ring area with by four security guards holding one of her arms and legs.
Yeah, each one holding an arm or a leg.
Yeah, and she was just like kicking and screaming the whole way out. Just
And
so tell me, Mr. Crazy Lady Guy, did that do anything for you?
I'm not gonna say as Nixon said, I will neither confirm nor deny. I'm not a crook.
I am not a creep.
Shut up.
All right, so now we had the announcement from William Regal and Asuka. There's a number one contenders battle royale next week. Winner gets a women's title shot at Takeover Chicago.
And in a promo that I can't believe I'm going to say this, where Asuka all she did was snort, pretty much degraded the entire women's division.
That's kind of the gimmick right now. Like Asuka thinks she is like 8 billion notches better than anyone else in the division.
But
And
she is.
yeah, and the rest of the roster's like she's getting way too confident. She has a weakness now. And
But
Asuka's
there's a problem with that.
gonna be like, nope.
Asuka has beaten everyone on the roster that she's faced, whether that be in in one-on-one or in multi-person matches. And by
Right.
multi-person, I mean like triple threat. Blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Yeah,
the only person she hasn't beaten, and I was getting to this point, is Ruby Riott.
correct. Like, although technically she hasn't pinned Nikki Cross yet, but
She was in a match with her and Nikki Cross didn't win. But she didn't lose, which gives
correct.
me the reason, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier. The Battle Royal is going to amount to nothing because whoever wins it is going to lose to Asuka. Then
Probably.
Asuka is more than likely, more than 50%, like, how do I put it? Similar to what Stephen Larson said, more than 25%, but less than 50%. Whoever wins out of Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott will beat Asuka. They have the best chance because one, they're not like anyone else on the roster, and two, Asuka at that point, its ego would be through the roof because
Yeah, but I'm starting to buy into your theory that like Asuka's gonna leave NXT undefeated because she's now officially past Goldberg.
yeah, she has passed Goldberg a long time ago, and
No, I mean like the legit number versus like the kayfabe number for Goldberg. Like that's been passed, and like it's becoming very well known by the wrestling community in general. So I feel like Asuka's going to go up undefeated with the belt and probably challenge for the Raw Women's title.
and then she'll win it, whether it be Raw or
Mhm.
SmackDown. I'd prefer Raw because Raw needs talent. I can't believe
Yeah.
I'm saying this.
Yeah, like the superstar shakeup really just kind of
Oh,
did.
we
Well,
haven't done the Raw pay-per-view yet because fuck me.
have fun with that. You have like 3 people on the show, worthless shit.
I will be.
And
We're
and-
gonna be doing it fairly quickly, but I'm going to bitch and complain about the fact that we basically got fucked over, and the one good thing we got out of the shakeup, not even from the shakeup, from like after WrestleMania, got injured.
Say yeah.
Say no.
All right, so our main event: Jack Gallagher.
I love
Jack Gallagher
British
versus
wrestling.
Jack Gallagher versus Tyler Bate for the UK title. The level of paleness in this match is out of fucking control.
Shut up. We're all pale down here. Well, not down. Well, all anyone who has heritage from the United Kingdom and close, but and I mean by like a decade or two,
Mm-hmm.
you'll notice is quite pale.
Yeah, but still, holy
Seamus.
shit.
All the United
Paige.
Paige. Trent Seven. Blah blah. Keeps going on.
Well, none like some of those other guys, like because after the match, they showed a bunch of them, and like they weren't all quite so pasty.
Yeah, that's because
These
no,
two guys though,
dude. I'll tell you why.
Mhm.
They use spray tan.
give these guys some then, 'cause holy shit.
They don't like it. I don't like it.
Still, like Christ, it's like they were shiny.
I know, and I love it because they're British and it's so good.
So
Also,
this,
two.
this match was very not WWE-ish, because
I
what
know.
we have here.
It
What we have
reminded
here-
me of British wrestling, and I'm happy if that's what they do for the UK title network show. I will not complain a single bit unless the booking is shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But like these two guys, specifically these two, are like really good at catch wrestling and
Yep.
unique submission escapes. And like the first 10 minutes of the match was just them doing arm ringers and headlocks in unique ways and them escaping from it.
You know
It
what?
was
Most of the match until that like last 5 minutes is that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Like it was a really unique match, and I quite enjoyed it because like by the time they were doing like monkey flips with each other, like dueling monkey flips, the crowd was just ape shit over them, ironically, like pun not intended there, and
Hardy
just
har.
it really wasn't intended, but like just that kind of makes this match a little difficult to recap though, because there was like no high spots.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no high impact moves or like suicide dives or anything like that. It was just two dudes trying to bend each other in half and get the other guy to tap out or get a pin. It felt like something you'd see out of the 20s or 30s. I like it.
Which is fine because, see, this is something I find interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, basically, wrestling, wrestling has there's certain styles of wrestling people like, and I
Mm-hmm.
think the reason WWE hasn't had as much attention on it as it used to
Mm-hmm.
is one simple reason. People have got tired of the WWE style. There's a reason people are flocking to British wrestling, i.e. WCPW and Progress and so on and so forth, ICW, Lucha Underground, Lucha Libre, and New Japan. Because it's not WWE's style. And they come for that they come for that because it's not WWE, and they stay because they like it. Or they leave and they go on to something else and then they find their niche.
Yeah.
And that's why I think WWE should drop their style and just go, every style is here. So that way you'll have the guys who that'll bring more guys to WWE because then they'll know I don't have to change my style.
To be fair, like they're coming here they're coming to WWE
Yeah,
anyway.
but that's more of a money thing.
Well, it's still them coming. Like whatever the reason is.
And then there's the Young Bucks who are like, WWE contracts. We've got merch money.
Well, yeah, there's always going to be the exceptions to that, and there was always the exceptions of it back in the day. Like you look at guys like Abdullah the Butcher and like Sting for the longest time. Like they just would not come to WWE out of principle. Like didn't matter how much money they were throwing around, they just didn't want to come to WWE. Young Bucks are the same way. But anyway, this match. Shit. We were talking so long that my phone closed with my notes on it.
The Nicky notes.
Yep. Don't leave home without it. So like I was trying to find the first like crazy big spot in the match, and like it's not until like the last couple of minutes when things start getting like a little heavier. Gallagher got knocked out of the ring at one point, and Bate looked like he was gonna try for a suicide dive, but Gallagher met him in the ropes with a big headbutt, and Gallagher and Bate were starting to stagger a bit, and Gallagher hit another headbutt and just kind of collapsed into a cover and only got 2 out of it.
There is one thing I would like to point out. I can never see a headbutt in the same light after the Shibata match.
Yeah. That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's like when I saw, like, every time I see a headbutt now, especially from Jack Gallagher, I wince.
Mm-hmm. Get well soon, Shibata. He'll be back, though.
No, he won't.
I am very sure he'll be back.
I don't, because, like, similar to WWE, New Japan's a big company, and they don't want a wrestler dying in the ring.
That's true, but I feel like if that's going to happen, it'll probably be like one of these hard-hitting motherfuckers. And like
Shibata is on that list, so it's like no, he either has to change his style massively, or he has to retire.
Oh, we'll see. Also, I am now familiar with a thing thanks to this match called the Gym Break Special.
Yes, I'm very glad you are, because it is a very good maneuver.
It's like a shoulder, elbow, and wrist lock all in one. That looks fucking painful. I don't want that to ever happen to me.
It was brought up quite a few times in the not the Cruiserweight Classic, in the UK.
Oh, yeah, UK tournament, yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering, because they're gonna need a couple more people if they're gonna make the UK show viable. Who do you think? Like, who do you think they're gonna put there? And if they're gonna put them there, are they gonna be exclusive to that show, or are they gonna show up on Raw and SmackDown, NXT and such?
They'll definitely keep still showing up on NXT like they've been doing now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got 1 or 2 showcase matches on Raw or SmackDown, but like I don't think they'll be as common as the cruiserweights. But
like if they decide to do another pay-per-view in the UK, they might go, okay, we've got to put the UK Championship on that pay-per-view.
Right, of course, definitely. I would also think that to answer your other question about like filling out the roster with UK talent, they're gonna have to pretty much bring in, if not all of the people from the UK tournament, like a good number of them. Like
I think I think some of them won't make it because some of them weren't that good. And then yeah, some of them weren't that good. Some of them were too green. But people like Joseph Connors,
Wolfgang.
Yeah, Wolfgang. Those kinds of people, they'll definitely be showing up. But I think they'll also have a few surprises.
Yeah, yeah. What about Tyson T-Bone? Like, I remember him from the UK
Uh,
tournament. He at least has a character.
yeah, but just because you have a character doesn't mean you are WWE material.
Cough, cough, Enzo Amore, cough, cough.
Well, yeah, but Enzo's really good on the mic.
Baby Tyson's really good on the mic. You don't know. You're not my dad.
I don't want to be your dad.
Okay.
I want to be a good brother. You
Huh,
sweet me.
too sweet. Okay, so the match ended up with Gallagher hitting a couple of big European uppercuts, and Tyler came back with a big rolling Pele kick and hit the Tyler Driver 97. There's your winner. Bit of an abrupt finish, if we're being honest.
Yeah. I didn't expect Gallagher to leave the champion because if they're not gonna have a title change until maybe that first episode of the UK tournament, not UK tournament, UK show.
Yeah. Um, so we were talking about the people who are eventually going to take the UK title off of Tyler Bate, and we pretty much came to a consensus that it's probably going to be Pete Dunne.
Yeah,
I
it's
offer
either
up a
Pete Dunne or a surprise.
how about Neville?
Nah.
Give him both titles and just be like a big cantankerous asshole and be because you remember he popped up during the UK tournament and was like, once again I've been left out. That would
Yeah,
be his
yeah.
big comeback fuck you way of saying, haha, I am better than all of you fools.
I think they would wait on doing that. I think they want to build up the UK title for a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
I think if they were going to do a big showcase of it, he would come out and make a big stink about the fact that he wasn't invited to the show and blah 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 blah
Mm-hmm.
blah. And then he'll say, like, if a face is holding the title, they go, okay, prove that you can be on the show. If you can beat me, I will give you a shot at the title on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Have Neville beat him. That'll bring people to the show.